In a few days, I will be in Iceland. I know some people might think that I'm crazy. I mean, Iceland in the middle of the winter, there are definitely easier times to go and visit this place. However, this has always been my dream, not a dream that I formed last year, but a dream that I formed many years ago when I was very young. To experience the North exactly as it is, with the rain, the wind, the snow, and the promise that one of those nights, the white ground and the dark skies will open up and will grace us with something magnificent, the Northern Lights. But if I want to experience this properly and document it the way it deserves, I have to be prepared before stepping into that cold and before facing the unpredictable weather and the long dark hours. I have to be intentional. This is the first chapter in the Iceland series, and it starts here, at home, with the decisions that will shape everything that follows. Iceland will not forgive bad preparation, it will not care about excuses, and certainly it will not reward overconfidence. So here is my essential setup. Not all my gear, but the gear I trust to document the adventure exactly how I've always dreamt it. This is the heaviest I've ever traveled, and I'm very aware of it. Iceland in the winter is not the place to experiment with limits. It's unpredictable, it's demanding, and I don't want technical compromises to get into the way of my creative decisions. Plus, this is not a trip I will be taking often, so I want to make sure that I can make the most of it. So I'm bringing two main cameras with me. The first is the Sony A7III. This is my main video camera in real life. All the studio videos you see, including this one, have been shot with it. But in Iceland, it will play a dual role. It will be my main camera for cinematic B-roll, but it will also be my specialized secret agent for two reasons. The first is whale watching. We have planned to go and see the whales if the weather allows it, and the Sony A7III is the most suitable tool in my kit because it has the best autofocus for this kind of occasions. I trust it when things move fast and in hard environments to pick focus properly. Plus, I just got the most appropriate lens for it that I'm going to talk to you about in the next section. The second and most inspiring reason for me is astrophotography, and more specifically, photographing the Northern Lights. This full-frame sensor has proven itself for me many times for astro work, including Milky Way, but also photographing the aurora here in the UK last year, which was an incredible experience. So when the lights are out, the Sony A7III is on. The second camera I will be taking with me will be my beloved Fuji X-T5, and it's gonna be my run and gun camera that will handle most of the photography. It's the camera that I feel most comfortable with and the camera that gives me the experience and the images exactly as I envision them, with the warmth and the character I'm looking for. One quick note, both of those cameras are weather sealed, and that's exactly why they're coming with me. Two systems, two philosophies, each one of them with its own purpose. Now for general video and vlogging, I'm keeping it practical. I will be taking my 7-year-old and very weathered, very beaten Osmo Action, DJI Osmo Action 1. And I'm taking this little camera with me because I know that even with its cracks, it's going to deliver even in the hardest conditions. But there is another addition to the kit, one that I'm super excited for. This is none other than the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. My plan for it is simple. It will be my walking companion, my main vlogging camera. But it will also help me to shoot some cinematic B-roll because of this very nice and practical gimbal it has, but also because of its ability to shoot in RAW. We used it recently in London and in several clips you've seen in previous videos, and it has performed really well. So I'm very excited to see how it is going to do in Iceland. But I should note that this camera has a major disadvantage. It is not weather sealed, which means that I will have to be very careful when I use it in Iceland. Similar to the cameras, I'm trying to be very intentional with the lenses. The absolute requirement for every lens is to have weather sealing, with one exception that I will come back to in a moment. The main lens on the Fuji X-T5, here it is, already mounted on the camera, is the Fuji 50mm f2. It's weather sealed, it has excellent autofocus, and it's probably the lens I've used the most on this camera. I know it like the palm of my hand, and on the APS-C system it gives me that 75mm equivalent focal length. I do love this focal length, but I also need something wider. Okay, so for the 50mm equivalent we have the Siri Aurora 35mm f1.4. It is weather sealed, it has excellent image quality, and it also can open up to f1.4, which can give me some extra flexibility in low light. Its only drawback though, as you can see, is its size, so I will have to be very strategic on how I'm gonna fit it in the bag with everything else. So what about the 35mm focal length? So here is my only option. This is the Viltrox 25mm f1.7. It's not weather sealed, and this is the exception I mentioned earlier, but this is the only lens I have at the moment that satisfies the 35mm focal length. So I will take it, but I will just be very mindful when using it. Realistically, I do see the 50mm f2 being on the camera mounted most of the time, but I like having the flexibility if I want to use the 50 or the 35mm focal length. Now, this kit works beautifully in the middle range focal lengths, but what about the extremes? For the extremes, the Sony A7 III takes over, paired with two zoom lenses. The first one is the Tamron 17-28 f2.8, which I'm currently using to film this video. This is the lens that has built this channel, my main video lens, for years. It is weather sealed, it has excellent autofocus and beautiful image quality. It will be my wide and ultra wide option, as well as my main astrophotography lens, as it has proven itself photographing the aurora here in the UK. Then for wildlife, I recently picked up this Tamron 70-300 f4.5 to f6.3 version 3. It is not considered to be a top tier lens, but it is more than good enough. It's weather sealed, it's surprisingly light, and its image quality is fantastic for its price. This will be my dedicated lens for wildlife and anything distant that requires reach. And honestly, I feel very confident with these lenses and very excited to use them in the field. Cameras and lenses are very important, but there is a number of other things that can make the whole experience smoother. So let's take a quick look at the essentials. First, a tripod. I decided to go with a Siri AM225S carbon fiber tripod. I chose this one mainly for its size and its weight. It's very light and yet it extends very far. Being mostly carbon fiber, it's also very durable, which matters a lot for harsh conditions. I didn't get an extra ball head, so we will be using the default one, but it should do the job just fine. I should mention though that its lightweight can be a major drawback, especially if I'm shooting during very high winds, but I was very limited as to how much weight I could carry, so this will have to do, and I will have to work within those limitations. I will also bring a number of filters. I will bring a number of polarizers, ND filters for both my main lenses, and for the Osmo Pocket I have some small ones, notably this little anamorphic lens. It's a 1.2 times anamorphic lens for the Osmo Pocket 3 that makes the image look a little bit more cinematic. For audio, I will be using the DJI Mic 2, which comes with the Osmo Pocket 3 kit, and it captures sound just fine. This is the microphone. It's pretty good. It has this little clip that I can attach on my jacket and then have sound pretty much the whole time. The connection between this one and the Osmo Pocket 3 is pretty much seamless. Additionally, I will be bringing my Rode video mic, which is old but in very good condition, that I will be using with my Sony A7 III and the Fuji X-T5 when I want to shoot B-rolls and at the same time get some sound from the environment. I will also be bringing 4 batteries for each camera, so you can imagine there's gonna be a lot of batteries with individual chargers for each battery. And at the same time, I will be bringing a lot of memory cards, as many as I could get in the time frame I had. I will also be bringing these protective bags for cameras and lenses. I've used them in the past, they're quite practical. They do protect the lens and the camera from rain. However, they make the whole experience a little more challenging because it's not that easy to look at the screen through the bag. But if the rain or the snow gets really bad, they are a very good option. I still haven't decided whether I'm going to bring a drone with me or not. A friend provided me with their old DJI Mavic Air. At the moment it has a technical issue, which I will try to sort out in the next few days before I go to Iceland. If you see any drone footage from Iceland, you will know that the drone came with me. Otherwise, well, next time. So that's the gear. Heavy? Yes. Intentional? Absolutely. But in the end, none of this guarantees anything. Iceland will not care how prepared I am. It won't care how many cameras I bring or how weather sealed they are. It will do what it wants. The wind will blow, the snow will fall, the light will change, and the sky may open, or it may decide to stay silent. And that's exactly why I'm going. Not to just photograph landscapes, but to challenge myself, to adapt, and to learn. This is the first chapter of a multi-part journey, from preparation to arrival to whatever Iceland decides to give us, and whatever decides to teach us. And if you want to see what this adventure holds, the first light, the first mistakes, the real test in the field, make sure you are part of this journey, because the real story begins when we land. That was all for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, I will see you on the road to Iceland. Bye-bye.